being around Dr. Dre, Tupac, Eazy-E, Ice Cube, what would you say was the consistent in their characters that made them a star?
In an equally yoked situation, they love what they did. You know what I'm saying? I used to sit down and talk to George. Same thing with George Clinton, because I got songs with George Clinton. I got songs with Stanley, George Duke and Stanley Clark, brother. I got songs with Cameo. I got songs with Zap. You know, so it's like one thing that we all have to understand is that when you really love what you do, you got to be able to endure the roller coaster rides, because it ain't always what you think it's going to be.
Mm-hmm. Can you give me an example of the situation?
I mean, you could do the moonwalk on Motown 25 and then come behind closed curtain and have arguments with different other people who did bad to you. This game ain't really what you think. It's kind of like the Pinocchio story. You know, you got to look at the Pinocchio story, player. You know, Geppetto was a wooden boy. You know, I mean, not Geppetto.
Geppetto was
Pinocchio.
I mean, Pinocchio was a wooden boy, but his father wanted to teach him real boy. But what diverted him from that attention is when everybody was invited to the circus. And when everybody was invited to the circus, they didn't have to do their homework. They didn't have to do their education. But what the next day everybody turned into? Jackasses. On an island, on the Epstein Island. So I'm telling you some real shit. I'm telling you
like this stuff.
Right.
I'm telling you.
You already listen.
So all I'm saying is that we love this music, but you don't know what's behind the closed curtains. And I had a chance to see what's behind the closed curtains without it destroying me.
What did you see?
I mean, come on, you see what's going on now. This game is ran by Satan, period. It's ran by Satan. And certain things, just like taxes, you got to do a deal with the devil. Don't you got to deal with your taxes? Where you think taxes come from? I can get real deep. No, but I don't want to lose people.
They need.
Listen.
OG, these people need somebody
to talk to. This is the information era.
Yeah,
it's the information era. We need to know.
All I'm saying is that, you know, study people like your Curtis Mayfield, like your Barry Whites. You understand? Barry White was gangster with it. He didn't allow you to put him in the box like all these other weirdo people that get put into a box. He handled his own. And it's like a sperm cell trying to get to the egg, pimping. All of them don't. Only one do. So you be the one to be wise.
All right, so can you tell us specifically, did you witness anything demonic, anything that was like...
Of course this shit is.
Scary.
This whole shit is demonic. This whole shit is demonic. And it's the sperm cell trying to get to the egg. All of them shot in the pussy hole, but only one realized, hey, man, this is what it is.
Right.
Does it discourage you? Yeah. But at the same time, it lets you learn from your different other cats that led by example, those that were needle in the haystacks. And it's not to ostracize the whole industry as a whole. No. It's to really, really do your homework, because it's not much more than your talent, than the education that you must have to be able to last this long, dog. Mm. So I was at a point where I learned from my father. I learned from my uncle. I learned when they used to tell me it's devils in this, who you think it is this boy, the great whoop-de-whoop is messing with little boys over here and blah, 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 and all kind of other things. Yeah. But see, sometimes in our culture, unfortunately, we take a blind ear to what it is over here, and then we pick and choose what's evil and what's ain't. And we get passes to a lot of shit.
Not me. I call them all cocksuckers every chance I get.
No, you know what I'm saying? It's like the lesser of the, so not to get too all, preachy on them. You in this game, especially for independent artists, you really have to watch your back, and you really have to soak up the business, before you decide to move and know where you're going.
Do you think artists from that era were purposely pushed into making gangster music?
Of course. There's private corporations, private sector that know that the biggest form of influence is music. Music.
Absolutely.
Period.
You knew Tupac. You said he was your little homeboy.
Mm-hmm.
Did you feel like after a while he was the same person? Did you notice a change in him or a change in his music?
To me, Tupac come from the soil where it's Royal Black Panthers. He could have been a leader, but he was a big follower too. He didn't have to follow. The choices that he made, if I was in that position, who knows? I might have done that too. When you talk about freedom, nobody can, tell you what. I've been locked up. It's something about being behind bars where you just want to be free. Same thing with my brother I told you earlier. He wanted to be free. He did 11,200 days to freedom, my real brother. It's 31 years. So in terms of wanting to get behind, get out the bars, I understood that Tupac didn't want to be behind those bars like most of us won't. But he was used by example to be able to know what to do and to be able to learn what not to do, not in a bad way, because he did more in his lifespan than anybody can do in their own lifespan.
Because that crushed me, bro. Like the impact was so huge, but the time was so short, bro. Like they didn't even really have a life.
And when you look back and you think about the age that they were, what was accomplished in between that time.
Yeah. And it's crazy because we were all having things in our 20s. I mean, our oldest CEO was Eazy-E at 27 years old. We were babies. And that's where, the lifestyle comes from. You got to remember gang banging and all that stuff. We were babies. We were kids that started gang banging. We didn't know nothing. Now that when you get older and you're blessed enough to not be in a pine box as the same circumstances that you did more than your men's and them is in there, you start to realize you just don't get gray hairs to your chin, but you get it to your spirit, though. Yeah. I know it's getting deep.
Listen,
there's a lot to say.
We got a legend in the building. This is what we here for. Oh, man, where do you go from there?
So in this situation with the Snoop thing,
It's hot for trapper turn smack rapper. Only smack rapper that you know is smack rapper.